If you're tired of wasting hours every week on all your different business tools, I got the perfect solution for you. My name is Ramzi. I'm a ClickUp verified consultant and founder of Upsys, an agency where we help teams optimize their operations, automate their processes, and set up probably one of the most advanced and modern project tools out there, ClickUp. Now at Upsys, we've helped tens of businesses set up their operations in ClickUp and connected with a bunch of different softwares. And in today's video, I'm going to share with you my top 5 favorite integrations with ClickUp. If you follow through this video, I can guarantee you're going to save at least minutes and minutes every day per employee on your business operations. Stay till the end of the video because I'm going to share with you my 5th and favorite integration towards the end. Now, if you're ready to speed up and automate operations and stop wasting time on all kinds of different tools, let's get started. My number 1 favorite ClickUp integration is obviously no-code automation. Now, I didn't mention a specific tool because there's 2 tools out there. There's Zapier and Make.com, and I'm gonna recommend you which tool to use in each use case. Both of those tools pretty much do the same thing. They'll let you connect one software with another and let an action happening in a software trigger another action happening in another. Now, you could think of literally any modern software on the planet and connect it with another one. And Zapier is amazing when it comes to doing this very simple 2-step connection. Similar to how ClickUp automations work and saying like, if this happens in my invoicing tool like Zoho Invoice, then trigger this in my CRM like HubSpot. If you're down for that and just want to simply connect 2 tools and save yourself time for learning a more advanced software and do it by yourself, you should go for Zapier. It's very intuitive, it's very user-friendly, and most of all, it's integrated with pretty much any modern software you can think of. So if you want to go the easier route, Zapier is for you. Now, if you want to create more advanced and multi-step automation, in Zapier, it's possible, but it's going to cost you much more because you're going to have to go for a higher plan. You're going to pay for more zaps, which are basically steps of your automation. And at the end of the day, it can end up being costly. So if you want to cut some costs and have more advanced automation available to you, you can go for Make.com. And the learning curve on Make.com is a little bit higher, but it's much cheaper in terms of automations. We're talking about like 5 or 6 times cheaper than Zapier. It lets you do way more things like filtering your data, iterating through it in very advanced ways, and have different connectors and tools talking with each other. You could do all of this with Zapier, but it's definitely going to start to become costly and tedious as you have more and more automations, and Make.com is much better when it comes to organizing your automations and creating very advanced workflows. At Upsys, we've created very advanced workflows with sometimes 10, 20, or 30 steps that goes with different tools. Like when a project is signed with a client by the sales team on Pipedrive, it would trigger the beginning of the project with the right template on ClickUp, and then create the client folder in Google Drive and do all kinds of different automations in different tools. And this saves my client at least 5 to 10 hours every week having to set that up by yourself. No-code automation is the way to go if you're repeating the same tasks every day, because with very simple building blocks, you're going to be able to connect 2 apps without having to write a single line of code or any complex program that would literally take you hours to build and maintain and would have to be stored on a server, etc. Now, at Upsys, we can help you out create those more advanced automations on tools like Zapier or Make.com. So if you're interested about no-code automation, all you have to do is book a discovery call with us, and we'll go through your need and see what we can automate for your business, whether it's within ClickUp, with ClickUp AI agents, or with Make.com or Zapier. Now, let's move on to my second favorite integration. And that integration is called Software. Software is an app builder that lets you build simple apps without code either. So you can just do it if you're visual and drag and drop your blocks and create an interface. It could be a website, it could be a CRM interface, an HR portal, a client portal, and actually talk about all these different use cases in this very channel, on others videos, on a playlist dedicated to software. And the thing is that all of these apps you're building are connected with your data. So you can store your data in a project tool like Notion or Monday, or in a database tool like Airtable or Google Sheets. And since very recently, Software is just integrated with ClickUp, which means you can connect your ClickUp account to Software and create building blocks that leverage your ClickUp regular fields and custom fields. And you can basically create a client portal to track your client projects or pending invoices without your client having to log in to your ClickUp account. Now, Software is the kind of integration we master as well at Upsys, and if you're down to check out what we can do with Software, you can just book a discovery call with us, and we'll check out your use case and see if it makes sense for you to create a Software web app for your business. Now let's move on to my third favorite integration, and it's cloud storage. I love that ClickUp is integrated to all kinds of different cloud storage solutions because they're offering you the opportunity to let your data in another tool and not depend way too much off ClickUp. So if you have sensitive data or large files or things that are pretty much done, I recommend you to store them in your favorite cloud storage tool, whether it's Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox, or Box.com, and then bring in the data by simply attaching one of those tools to your ClickUp and to your tasks. So when it comes to storing your data, if your data is static and is pretty much done like I said, it's better to use those tools. But obviously, if it's work in progress and if you're actually working on a deliverable and you want to link it to an ongoing task, then it might be useful to store it as an attachment in ClickUp. So depending on how much your file is evolving, it's better to store it in the cloud storage or in ClickUp. And out of all the cloud storage solutions, my favorite one is Google Drive, because with the ClickUp Universal Search, you can connect your Google Drive. You can actually search for Google Drive files from the ClickUp UI and call them out very quickly. And on top of that, you could create AI agents or summarize Google Drive files thanks to ClickUp AI. So it can become very, very powerful to have your client information stored in a file in Google Drive, for example, and have agents automating your tasks like updating custom fields, statuses, or due dates, thanks to all the knowledge you have stored in your Google Drive file. Now let's move on to my fourth favorite ClickUp integration. And this one is emails in ClickUp. I've done a bunch of dedicated videos about that and explain how to automatically bring in your emails from your Gmail to ClickUp, for example, but I'm going to explain you in this video how it works. So you have two types of connections. You can either pull out your emails from your emailing tool to ClickUp or send emails from ClickUp to the rest of the world. Now, in the first case, what you have to do is right-click on a list or a task and go into emails to ClickUp, and then it will prompt you to copy and paste that email address. And if you forward an email to that list or that task, it will be either created respectively as a new task or as a comment within that task. So you can follow up that thread later. And if you create it as a task and forward it to a list, ClickUp knows smartly how to organize and lay out your task. So you can, for example, forward it, and if you have a subject, it will become the ClickUp task name. The content of the email will become the task description. If there's any attachment, they will also attach to the task in ClickUp. And what it could do is after that, have an AI agent overlook that email and do some triage and edit some custom fields or assign the task to the right person based on the rules that you have set up for them. Second type of email integration is connecting your Gmail, your Outlook, or any other emailing tool to your ClickUp so that you're able to send emails from the comment section of your tasks. And if you add a custom field to that list, you'll be able to fill in those custom fields with emails of your clients or your leads, for example, and make ClickUp a proper CRM because you can quickly pick in that email field and add it to your automations and automatically send emails with templates thanks to ClickUp and the email integration. Now, I talked about this very use case as well in dedicated video, and if you want to fully leverage your emails into ClickUp, you can watch it as well. Now, let me conclude with my fifth and favorite ClickUp integration. Obviously, it's going to be one that I built, and it's called ClickUp to Sheets. ClickUp to Sheets is a Google Workspace add-on that lets you integrate your ClickUp tasks with Google Sheets and give any stakeholders a spreadsheet-like simple interface to view and edit and create your tasks in ClickUp. So you can basically export your tasks from ClickUp with a simple UI in the Google Sheets add-on, and then be able to see them, see the subtask name, see the custom field, color your task rows as well based on the custom field or the statuses of those tasks, and have a much simpler and smoother integration with ClickUp and an export like a spreadsheet. On top of that, it lets you keep those exports in sync every day if you enable the schedule sync feature, and you can basically let any stakeholder see in real time your tasks and how they're progressing in ClickUp from a spreadsheet, or create dashboards, or just export your ClickUp data into another tool and have them integrated with an automation and Google Sheets as a bridge, for example. What ClickUp to Sheets also does is that it lets you export your time tracked and your users and create analytics dashboards on those data. So you're going to be able to see who's spending time on which project per month or per year if you wanted to, or you can just see which users haven't been using ClickUp for a while, or which ones are members and could be converted to guests to save you some seats and therefore some monthly costs. Now, ClickUp to Sheets is free for the first 7 days. You can try it, and the link is down there. And if you want to go further, there's different subscription tiers based on your need. If you're curious about ClickUp to Sheets, you can watch my dedicated video where I give a full tour about this tool. Now that concludes my top 5 favorite ClickUp integrations. And as you can see, ClickUp is not just a to-do list with a bunch of fields. It lets you really integrate with the rest of the world thanks to Zapier and Make. And on top of that, it offers native integrations that let you easily bridge the gap between the old way of doing project management like emails and the modern way like the proper project software with automations and AI. If you're interested about everything you can do with ClickUp and all the integrations offered, you got it. At Upsys, we help companies and businesses like yours set up their ClickUp account and optimize their operations with automations and with smoother processes in ClickUp and outside of it. As you've seen previously, I gave you the case of a client that saves literally hours and hours every week thanks to ClickUp automation. And this is just one of the few use cases I had in mind, because we've literally helped tens and tens of teams with one of the 5 use cases I've talked to you about earlier. So if you want advisory on which integrations are best for your team, book a discovery call. And if you want to keep yourself at pace with project tools, automations, and AI, subscribe to this channel. And if you want to see more of this type of content, leave a comment below with what you're interested about. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you on the call or another video. And until then, stay productive.